Inda. Rah. RK is Guyana Free Media. And I'm your friend, your brother, Haji Dr. Ocean Can. Inda. Rah. Inviting you to tune in to listen to two criminal matters. A very happy, holy day. This Monday, March 25th. Friends and families, ladies and gentlemen, from yours truly, Haji Dr. Ocean Can Holy, hey, happy Pagwa in this our country of peace and joy and perpetual beauty. We're very fortunate to be living in a country like Guyana. On behalf of my business, my company, Arcades Group, I have posted a very beautiful Holy Pagwa message with some members of our staff who were very happy and very excited, and then a treat was prepared for them. So with all my joy and with all my love, I send that message out, and you may check it on Facebook as well, and even maybe on YouTube on the Electric Mosque. Now, today is a very beautiful day. It's very nice and pleasantly sunny. While in Guyana we have been getting too much sun, thank God it is lands of many waters. It is still light breeze, refreshingly so, and we are able to manage our water. And with the government of especially Dr. Jagdev and his government, and his time and era, and the current government as well, had paid much attention to installing proper pumps and drainage and irrigation. I hope that City Hall is doing the same for the city of Georgetown. Now, I have with me the newspapers of Sunday, March 24th, that's yesterday. Today is the 25th, Monday, the holiday, and the celebration in Guyana of Pagwa or Holi. I have two articles here in this newspaper on page 35, which is disturbing to me, crime matter. One committed by a security officer, and it is left for the authorities to prove whether the company was negligent, and to prove whether the man, the guard, was negligent, and then also another one having to do with fishermen arrested for desecrating tombs, beheading corpse at Rosignol Cemetery, a most hideous, sickening and disgusting matter. So it's two criminal matters my mind is giving me to speak on this time. Teen fatally shot by security officer at workplace. Jared Jagnandan, a 19-year-old resident of Monrepo, East Coast Demerara, who worked as a handyman at the Shaft Auto Sales at Lusignan, East Coast Demerara, was on Thursday shot dead by a security officer at the said establishment. Police have said that the 20-year-old suspect is attached to this Cerberus security service. Well, I have been in the security industry, RK's business, and I'm not saying this to put down what might be as a competitive company or in business in the industry. This is not what I'm here for. I'm also very concerned about the number of firearms that were getting lost, and also the number of people getting shot, and the fact that companies would take on Chinese restaurants who are always demanding big guns by their door and wanting to use security guards to beat up customers when they themselves are beating up customers. We like Chinese, we like China, we like that they came and they helped to reinvigorate our economy and so on. But at the same time, we do not expect them to disrespect our customers who are the citizens of this country, nor for the citizens of this country to disrespect the Chinese or anyone else. Many of them go into stores, Guyanese, and steal the people's property. And it hurts when you work hard like the Chinese do, many of them living in their store. It's not easy. Now, so he was shot dead by a security officer at the said establishment. Now, police have said that the 20-year-old suspect is attached to the Cerberus Security Service. Well, I was telling you, I'm in 43 years in the security business. I never heard of this company. We don't know where they come from. And I'm wondering if it will be a good idea that when a new security service is licensed to operate, which seems to be a big thing, because it seems like it is as easy as operating what we call in Guyana a cake shop to get the security license. Just add security to it, and you get license, and you get license for multi-trillion amount of guns, to my opinion. I'm being a bit sarcastic there. For example, my company applied 4 years ago for 2 AR rifles. Until today, I can't get approval for them. But guys just got their approval, and they seem to have tons of approvals for SAs and for guns. And these high-powered weapons too. It is, well, I'm not saying anything, but a lot of people are saying a lot of things about why this is happening. I know a company in Essequibo that is called Halal Wholesale, Retail, Restaurant, and then they put security in the back, and they get a whole set of guns. I don't know how they assess this. I don't know what they do. The tricky thing seems to be just put security service, and you get all the guns in the world that might need. And many people are trying to do this to get guns for themselves and their families. And it is alleged that many companies, so-called companies, who don't know anything about security, that these so-called companies are actually renting weapons. And in some cases, security guards are renting weapons. This is a thing that is being said quite a lot in the country. Now, let me continue. So I never heard of this business. I don't know what the name Cerberus mean. Might be kind of a Latin word, carrying maybe some nice, beautiful meaning. And was at the time armed with a 12-gauge shotgun. Now, why for a car dealership you need a 12-gauge shotgun? 12-gauge shotguns, when they're fired, their pellets usually are made mostly for shooting birds and so on. They have a tendency when they're fired, the pellets cones out. And if it wasn't so close, it could have coned out, damaged the people's cars, and that's the owner's cars, and damaged the owner of the car dealership, and kill and hurt other people very seriously. This thing of running a security company and having weapons is no easy thing in this country. It is also alleged that there are certain political considerations for people to get these approvals. And if action is taken, certain political pressure is put against this, the incompetence. And I'm not saying this company is incompetent at all. But sometimes it is alleged that there are political powers that use influence. I don't know. No politician has ever done anything for me. And I have never had a godfather or a godfather, and I always go through the system of law, requisite law. Now, based on reports received on Thursday, the owner of the auto sales entity and his wife returned to the store after transacting business and found the suspect, who was on duty in Jagnanan, seated in a chair distance away from the security officer's desk. So they were on chairs, like maybe facing each other. And one of the things that happens sometimes is that we saw this in the border market, where an untrained man, unapproved man, was carrying a weapon charged and was showing off how to use the weapon and kill somebody there. But I can't remember if the person was killed or badly hurt, but the fact remains no action was taken against that company or against that individual. And also, their license was up for renewal about a year ago, and right away their license was renewed. There was no suspension, and the minister has a right, according to the Act, which I know well, to suspend the security company. And the commissioner, as the administrator of security services, has a right to withdraw a license. So this is a very serious issue, and people are talking, and when people are talking, it is usually not a good thing. They were sitting next to each other, and just like that one in Border Market, they obviously were playing with the weapon. That one wanted to see how it go work, and this one wanted to show him, like how another favorite big-time security service at Movie Tongue was seen firing gun in the air, firing gun in the air like he was shooting birds or something of that sort. And yet still for that company, no punitive action was taken against them by the minister or by the police. So they were seen sitting in a chair a short distance away from the security officer's desk. The couple proceeded to the entity's office, but a few minutes later heard a loud explosion in the store. The businessman immediately went out to check the origin of the sound and observed Jack Nandan lying motionless on the ground with blood about the lower section of the body. And that means he got hit in the belly because they were sitting opposite each other. Jack Nandan was picked up in an unconscious state and taken to the Woodlands Hospital, where he was attended to by a doctor, but he later succumbed to his injuries. The matter was reported to the police, who, upon inspecting Jack Nandan's body, found a gunshot wound in the upper left leg. So if it was a shotgun, then they probably had one slug. And these slugs could be used to kill elephants, ladies and gentlemen. If it didn't have several pellet holes, which are like what you call bird shot, then it would have to be a slug, and that would be very deadly. Would enter the body and explode inside, and then maybe even exit. The matter was reported to the police, who, upon inspecting Jack, found a gunshot wound on the upper left leg. Upper left leg, near to the kidneys, near to the scrotum, near to the bladder, and so on. Several persons were questioned, and the CCTV footage was reviewed. The suspect was arrested and is presently in custody. The shotgun was lodged along with 5 live cartridges and 1 spent shell. Police investigations are continuing. But for the security service operatives and the citizenship at large would find it strange that the government would not have, or the police would not have sent out a proper press release to tell people what are happening, what's going on, and if any action is being taken against the security company. Whether the man was processed, trained, etc. Now, so that is that case. It's sad. Jared Jack Nandan, his mother, his father, his girlfriend, his siblings or brothers and sisters would have lost a handyman, had to be a hard-working boy, a gentleman, obviously from his looks, working for a living, and they've lost that son, that child, that brother. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on to the other one. I'm wondering what kinds of people, some of course, do we have in this country? It's very sickening, and to my opinion, very humiliating and painful. Fishermen arrested for desecrating tomb, beheading corpse at Rosignol Cemetery. Now who, why, unless there's a terrible hate, would you go into a tomb, extract the body, desecrate the body, and some people scared of zombie, or ghost. But it doesn't seem like people are afraid anymore. So they go in there and they've done one of the most dastardly acts and a humiliating act against the family. The act which they have to live with for the rest of their lives when they put their relative to rest. These vagabonds, and here they are. This is the dead man, ladies and gentlemen. And these two guys, look at them. Look at them. This one here, Lyndon Davis, known as Mama G, and Khalil Madramutu, also known as Prito. Look at them. I'm sure they have their wives, their children. I'm sure they have a mother or had. And look at what they're going to do, to go to rob a grave. They might have heard there was some money in there. Why anybody would put money in a dead man's grave, I don't know. I know of a relative through distant way, Hindu, but it doesn't have nothing to do with religion. I'm trying to differentiate because I'm a Muslim. And he died, but he instructed that in his grave, they had to bury him in the earth. They can put the tomb on top, bury him in the earth with some space, give him a radio, give him a pack of cigarette with a lighter, and also a bottle of liquor. The other way we found that somebody was buried in the Berbice area. He seemed to have some very sick people in the Berbice area. Maybe that is why they have Fort Kanchi, the mental institution, because many people in Berbice have mental problems. I'm from Berbice, but some people seem to have some serious mental. They went into that grave to steal the cell phone that was buried with that person and something else. Maybe they buried them with a cell phone, thinking that the spirit would call the family. So let me read this article, this dastardly act of beheading a dead person and putting his head on top of a grave. What a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do to people. I wish and hope that our laws are so serious and grave that they will have many, many years in prison. Police have arrested two men in connection with the desecration of a tomb of 52-year-old Muneshwar Jawahir, which occurred between March 17th and 19th at the Murphy Dam Cemetery in Rossignol, West Coast, Berbice. It's in Rossignol, Berbice. Well, it is not really on the other side. In my mind, I always equate across the river, Berbicians. And it was said that the mental institution was built really from people over the river coming all the way to Region 4 and the rest of Guyana. And I'm just being a bit jocular there and so on. So, but in my heart, anything across the river over this way is not Berbice. It is part of Region 5. Hey, George, you didn't pick the one with the dog does pee, right? Two trees the dog does pee on. They're the dog kennel. There are 2 trees.
Yeah.
You pick from there too?
Yes.
Oh no.
No.
2.
The other 2 no.
Oh, the dog does pee on.
Yeah. No, this is outside and that one.
Okay. Initially, Madramutu was arrested and upon interrogation admitted to participating in desecrating the tomb and corpse of Jawahir. So Madramutu, this fellow here, arrested and eventually admitted. Madramutu claimed that Davis is the one who broke into the tomb. It always happens like that. They're a good friend, they will always blame the other one. And together they moved about $28,000 from the casket. Davis has, however, denied any involvement in the incident. That means he's what you will call an experienced criminal. He's going to hold off hard and strong. They remain in custody as police continue to investigate the incident. Jawar here had been laid to rest at the Murphy Dam Cemetery on February 9th. So that body had to be smelly. It had to be virtually rotting away. And they went in there. They probably heard that they buried some money. It's a system some people believe in putting some gold or putting some money in a grave. Maybe they will bribe the angel or bribe the god according to their religion. But this is sickening. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the tomb that they broke. Here is the whole of the tomb. And this is the head. They fully blocked it out somewhat. And they put it on top there to insult, to hurt, and to upset the family. I've known fishermen in the quarantine area, Berbice area, doing some very bad things, and even like turning pirates and killing their own friends that they have known and whom they fish with together of the same cooperative, like the number 66 Fishermen Cooperative, and like even people in Georgetown, in certain squatting areas, are joining the pirates in Berbice and other areas to smuggle and also to attack and possibly murder other fishermen. This is very sad and painful. Such a beautiful country. We have enough resources, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone to survive and everyone to live in some way and be happy. But many people just want cheap, free, easy money. Ladies and gentlemen, after careful consideration, I have decided to add a third obvious criminality aspect that is of great pain and trauma to my heart, and it should be to you too. And it has to be arson of a former Bleeding Hall headmaster who dies in BV fire. Now look at that gentleman. If you could manage to get to see his face. How he's smiling. Good teachers are like this. Good teachers smile and teach and give so much of their hearts and so much of their lives to Guyanese and to humanity. Now, look at the smile of this gentleman. And I can imagine him teaching and smiling, even to children whose head would not take the knowledge easily. He would smile and teach. But his house went down in fire. And it was intentionally set, according to my glance of this short article here. And I will give you my opinion in a little while. And I will probably dilate a little bit as to what people do to families and relatives when they are not dying fast enough. This is from the Saturday, March 23rd, Kaitro newspaper. An early morning fire on Friday, believed to be maliciously set, means intentionally, wickedly, for those who may not understand, maliciously set, destroyed a bed-overacting East Coast Demerara home and claimed the life of a former headmaster of the Bleeding Hall Multilateral School. So there you get it. You have maliciously set and taken the life, which means murder, is involved here, ladies and gentlemen. And I know the police will be taking this very seriously. At the age when this man is supposed to enjoy his joy of seeing his students enjoying their life and being very prosperous in life and being very successful in life, a teacher joy in seeing the success of their students. Teachers are always not properly, fully paid in any country. And third world countries like ours, even worse. But their joy is always in seeing the success and the uplift of the students that invested their time for poor pay. Now this man should be enjoying also his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, his community, his neighborhood, and I will not be surprised when people are doing common entrance and CSEC, they run to him for some help. I will not be surprised or shocked, and he will happily do it. So this man was killed in his home. According to the Guyana Fire Service, firefighters received a distress call around 0400 hours about a fire at West Half Plot, OBAZ, Betavwaktin, East Coast Demerara. The report related that water carrier number 16 and water tender 105 carrying 1703 liters of water along with their crews were immediately dispatched to the scene. Upon firefighters' arrival, they encountered a wooden and concrete two-story building engulfed in flames and immediately commenced firefighting operations. Elias, the lone occupant of the house, died in the fire. The cause of the fire is suspected to be malicious, with the perpetrators currently unknown, the GFS reported, and I'll give some of my own viewpoint on that shortly. The fire was reportedly extinguished utilizing one jet from water carrier 16 and two jets from light pump 126 via an open water source, a pond, a drain, a trench. Our deepest condolences go to the family and friends affected by this devastating incident, GFS said in its press release. Ladies and gentlemen, now this is the house, how it turned. I would ask the police to investigate if there is a relative who was close or staying in that house or close to the man but cannot be found right now. My police instincts and mind are turning in my head, and I'm seeing that this is an act of arson. Nobody on the road or even a criminal. They didn't go there to rob, they went there to burn. They went there with no other intent but to murder, but to kill. And usually sometimes your families are the worst of killers. I saw that even in my own family recently. Ladies and gentlemen, I had never known that a sister of mine, with a soft, sweet voice, was beating my mother and telling her she is not dying. I saw this sometimes on Facebook, especially in India, where the daughters and daughters-in-law will push the mother down and tell them, get out, or you're not dying fast enough. I was made to understand the same sister of mine and daughter of my mother, and was the favorite daughter or child of her father, who was my stepfather, would beat him and tell him, you're not dying, I'll kill you. Because he was having a stick to try to defend himself. When they would beat him, that is why he was having that walking stick, to protect himself as a 92 or 91-year-old man, and my mother was 93. So at that age, imagine what is happening. So I will not be surprised. And all they were doing that for is because she wanted the property in her children's name, particularly one of her sons and daughters. And they found a large sum of money in the people's house, and they took it all. So this is how some family do. I know of a case in New York where the father was not dying. The man owned two houses. The wife and the husband plotted together, and the man was sleeping in a corner in the basement, give them the best part of the house, his daughter and her husband and their children. But he was not dying fast enough. So in the basement, sometimes some people do it illegally. And the stairway from the basement going up to that flat is usually a bit steep. And this day, while going up, They made it look like an accident, and he was walking up, and they obviously pushed him down ferociously, or kicked him. They would not have kicked him, they would have pushed him, obviously, and then he fell backwards and broke his neck. There was a ferocious push. I'm surprised that America, with all its forensic, didn't realize that this man was killed. And they also police in America, you'll be shocked to know, in New York, don't like to work. So they make things look very easy. Now, with my sister and her father, who is my stepfather, and my mother, they stole everything, took everything in the people's place. The people had other children, and because they gave them a power of attorney to manage their life, they convert everything to their names, and none of the other siblings of the sister, my brothers and sisters, people will say half, but we grew up together, so we don't consider ourselves half brothers or half sisters, because we grew up together. So, family, right? And then they tormented my mother psychologically till she fell. She went to the hospital, and I was called, and I went there. I spent a month with her in the hospital, most of the time, stayed with her and cared her and gave her company and prayers and love and joy, and she knew that her son was there. But they would never tell me what was going on because they were afraid, as they had also insured her. So those people in New York might have insured their parents, and then if they die by accident, it's double money. I'm seeing that happening there. And the grandchildren and the son-in-law would have insured too. And they killed them. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised if it is family involved in this. Police need to find out who was around, and they can't find anymore. This is my opinion. Who wanted the property and who might have been expecting to gain the property because they did not rob the place. My heart goes out to this gentleman and to his families who truly love him. May his soul rest in peace. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Ocean Kaninda.